get to working on this thing. Man, it's looking good. You know, man, you guys, sure happy to see you. It's been a couple weeks. Let's get back on this MGA, get some body lines squished out, and you know, yeah. Good to see you, everybody. Man, I missed you. Welcome back, Junks Automotive. Well, don't you know it? Weatherman lied again. I need to have his job. Anyhow. There we go. Get the MGA up in the airs because its stature is normally down here. And I'm not a real tall guy, but most of the work is bending over. I'd just rather not. My back's had its day. So we'll even now, see, I can comfortably work on the top. There's no roof to worry about, right? It's a good thing this thing's small. And I can sit on my little creeper chair and work around the bottoms. So, oh, clean the shop. Look at that. Look at that. We hit 1,000 subscribers. We got room to dance. Boy, I'll tell you, we're going to order them hats. I'm telling you, it's coming. We're at just shy of 800 subscribers, so another couple of videos will be there. Anyhow, got the fender off, and I had a little party, a little get together, and it made me clean the shop up. So put all the parts on the car just to hang them temporarily, keep them out of the way and safe, right? Not that damage is going to hurt them much, but started messing around with this back fender, and well, you know, this flange is. Then I noticed along that body line, this part, same way. The other fender is the same way. The fronts are really pretty decent as far as that goes. So, you know, we're gonna have to hammer and dolly and hammer, or holly and dammer. We're gonna holly and dammer all this, so we can keep our fill level. See, it's all humped up right where between the bolts. Do I need to add bolts? You guys already know I don't know what I'm doing. But more importantly is doors. Fenders, they go forward and backwards. This doesn't move, and this doesn't move. There's been a lot of work done down here. There's supposed to be holes here. There's supposed to be holes right here. This has been replaced. That's been replaced. I'm starting to figure all this out. They did a nice job. You can kind of see the, you know, I mean, yeah. This is a little, you know, needs some touching up and this and that. But we got to make the doors fit to the hole that we have, right? You know, it's high here. It needs to be lined up here. And this body line needs to go right along here. And it needs to fit down there with a, you know, a fair gap. So that door needs to come down. Got a lot of issues though. This hinge, see right there, right this little part, it's bent forward. The bottom one's straight. So I'm gonna replace this hinge first of all. If we want bent hinges, it's because I bent them. And I'm gonna show you a hillbilly trick. Probably on that side. That door hangs down. So, all right, I'm gonna get to doing some swapping and get back at it. Yep, nice clean shop. Oh, I'm gonna show you that before the video's out. Pretty cool. So the hinge is off. This is the door I believe came with the car. Okay, so hinge is off. I was a little worried because these little Phillips things, they don't like to come out, except for these are stainless steel. Boy, they come right out. You got a little nut, some washers, and that's all that's on the back side. On the body side, they're encapsulated encapsulated. So here's what I was talking about. That hinge, okay, maybe it's made different or it's bent different. Let me pop that on there and see if that helps us. Well, got the hinge on there. Door's low right here. It's a little high right here. So the holes in the door, since they're just nuts on the back side, I can wire the holes out a little bit so this door drops down just a little bit. See that? It's not far off. It just needs to come down. But that's not going to fix this right here. See how tight that is. So I've got a little trick for you. You know the little deals you try to hang pictures up with the little nail that just aren't worth a crap? Well, they're good for this. It's like a little 3/8 socket, and I just bent the end of it out, stuck it down in there, enough so it grabs that hole. If I can do this with one hand, I'm going to set that right there. All that little piece of metal is going to do is hold that socket in there for me. So what I'm going to do, you know how the other hinge was bent that way? We're going to bend it this way, and it'll lift the bottom of that door up. So we'll just close her in there, nice and easy. Give her a little ooga, right? We don't want to push really hard, just enough that spreading that hinge out a little bit. So we'll take our socket tool out. See how it looks now. It's getting there. See that? So I want this line level with this rocker. I'm just going to do it a little bit more. You could use a bigger socket, but the smaller one I think helps not damage things so much. Stick her in there. Another little ooga. You kind of feel it bend. You don't want to overbend it because then you're really screwed. So a little bit at a time. Ooh, almost there. Got a little tight point right there. Now these rockers have been replaced, you know, so that little spot might just need to be beat down because the rest of it looks really pretty good. Yeah, looks like you've got a little damage right here, and that needs beat down. Alright, let me beat on that a little bit. I'll turn you back on. Took my little handy dandy magic marker, made a couple marks where that little hump is. You know, them funny body hammers that, yeah, you know, I think they're for pinch welds. Yeah, door skins. Having to go like that and hit all kind of stuff I'm not wanting to. Ah, yeah, a little bit more. That door might have to still come up a tiny bit. Bottom of that door needs to come out. That's pretty good. Let me turn you back on, show you what it looks like. Woo. All right. Yep. That's roughed in. Well, I was over here, thought I'd show you guys something real quick. These are all my door hardwares. So rusty, rotten, whatever, keep them. Even if I don't reuse them, I at least know what they originally were. But while I was here, I thought I'd show you this. Block sanders, blocking stuff, hardener, you know, sandpaper. All my Bondo tape. I need some of that. And then look, got a little bit of lightage. Ain't that cute? Over here, same sort of thing. Paint type stuff, reducers and cleaners. You know, on the bottom I just made a little hook deal. I have my paint guns. I might have them up here once I make a little hanger thingy. You know, paint supplies. Man, a nice work surface for mixing stuff. And when I'm not using it, it's out of the way. All right. But back to this door. Fixing to take this door off. I was going to try to do it one hinge at a time, but I'm going to go ahead and take it off. And we need to wire these holes out a little bit. But then I noticed, look, the lock washer stuck in there. So that probably hampered our, you know, adjustability. Okay. Well, I think the door height is good. You know, and this is aluminum. This edge can be moved around a little bit. This needs knocked in just a little bit, you know. But this body line is going to line right up with that. And we're pretty good off the bottom. I don't want to drop this door down too much, then it messes us up there. I think that's close enough for where we're trying to go. You know, pretty decent. Now I'm going to go to the other side, do the same thing with that door, get it all squared away. And I believe since this doesn't move and that doesn't move, we'll get this little line right, that little line right, and then the fenders will go to that on both ends and just deal with whatever we got. Yep, well, we're pretty close here. All right. Pretty good there. See how bad this door is caved in on the bottom. So we're flush to the rocker, come here, we're not, then we're getting beat pretty much flush again. Of course, this fender's gonna move around, it's loose. We're, you know, trucking right along. And there's corners, there's ends, there's things that we can do to, you know, this is just a little high right on this point, so I tap it down. You know, we gotta know where the majority of the parts need to lay. So now we're gonna start with the fenders, kind of get them bolted down. Keeping in mind that there is fender welt that goes through here, which takes up a little bit of a gap, right? So if I bolt these flush, they might be, you know, there's a little bit of a gap here. I'm not going to worry about that too much. You know, I don't know. Let's mess with some fenders. I might have to holly and dammer that one out. You can kind of see how boogered up it is along that flange. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, you can see it right there. See that? Yep, fix that. about, I don't know, 20 more subscribers here in just the last little bit. Right on, almost hat and dance time. So anyhow, this side, oh, I've got masking tape in here. Yep, you'll see why. Maybe not this video, but I stuck it in there in case I did something, I don't know, you know. And here's what you fight. See the little tight places? It's the little, you know, and there's going to be welting in there, which that's a piece of rubber with a bead over top of it, and that's going to cover a whole lot of that stuff. I mean, I'm gonna hope that it doesn't have to cover a whole lot, but now you saw me messing with this, you know. Well, I guess I'm being picky, but the fender, everything's supposed to be rounded, but this door is a little different than that door, and it's just flat on top. So I've been massaging both of them, getting them to match up. You know, we're not horrible. We're in the ballpark. Now this, I've already figured out, something's been done to the bottom of this fender. It's been repaired at some point, because notice there's no holes. No holes. And this is long. So I'm going to push it forward and probably end up trimming this off a little bit. We'll look at the other side and see what it looks like. Once I get there. We're not there yet. A couple tech screws here. There's supposed to be a couple holes here that this fender bolts on down here. Like I said, no holes here, no holes here. All this has been fixed. You know, it's not, like I said, there's a little high spot where they've welded here. We can knock that in and body work that out, I think. But we're really, you know, pretty good. And you saw me hammer and dollying. This is, you know, just kind of doing this thing. We can body work some of that out. But again, I don't want to have a whole bunch of mud in here and go to put it on after it's all painted and bolted up with the welting in it. And, you know, so I've got it knocked down a little bit. I might even take a tool or something and knock that stuff down and work my way all down through here. All right? I mean, it's all you can do to get this to line up. This is supposed to be kind of flush with this. Then when you do, you push this in when it's bolted up front, then the whole fender goes whoop, and it does this funny things. Like I'm dealing with here. See this gap? I've got it bolted here and lined up where it needs to be. It's bolted here, lined up where it needs to be. The door is looking pretty good. Did the same socket trick on the lower hinge and got it picked up and got it just where it needs to be. Alright? Vice grips, because again, this has been replaced. I'm gonna have to work on this and get it to, you know, you can kind of see where the lines are a little bit funny, so we'll have to carve them out, make them a little bit nicer. But that's what happens. That's like the fenders are too long for the car. You push them together, it goes whoop. So I'm fighting this. You can kind of see one of those humps right there. That's a hump. There's another little hump. I mean, it's, you know, yeah, that hump right there is kind of going to drive me crazy. But not too bad overall. Haven't messed with this fender yet. Once I get this squared away, you know, like I say, I get it close and I'll know what kind of metal work, what kind of stuff we need to do. No need putting a bunch of Bondo on stuff till we know that I might have to take that off and cut the flanges on the inside and get the fender to go and then weld them up from the inside. I don't know. We're getting there though. I'll tell you what, I never was a British car fan, but cool looking little car. Starting to come together.
Have you heard the news about the rutabaga? The vegetable that's sweeping across the land. And if you've heard about the rutabaga, you know that its dimensions are quite grand. It is a nut, a carrot, carrot or potato. It is not a turnip or a beet. And if you get one now, you will say, boy, howdy, how did I ever get through life without the street? The vegetable that's sweeping across the land. And if you've heard about the rutabaga, you know that its dimensions are quite grand. It is not a carrot or potato. It is not a turnip or a beet. And if you get one now, you will say, boy, how did I ever get through life without history?
All day, singing this tune, my whole night on fishing gear. Not hard to see my destination is near. Gone fishing in the willow trees, feel the sun and a salt sweet breeze. It's springtime in this Indiana town. I can fish all day until the sun goes down. Let that light like a motor wine, wink in my ear, sure feel fine. I pulled in and I stopped and go, 6 pack of beer and a dozen cars to go. Gone fishing in the willow trees, feel the sun and the salt sweet breeze. It's springtime in this Indiana town. I can fish all day and the sun goes down.
Several hours later, she's mocked up. Now, I have a baseline. I know what needs fixed, what needs done. I learned when I did that Cadillac just to take a body panel, throw it on the stand, because I thought, well, it's easier. I ain't got to bend over and do all that. Do the body work, then bolt it all together, and oh, guess what? Need to redo a bunch of it because it didn't line up. This one's going to be different. You know, I have some questions and some concerns about fenders fitting. You know, it's like they're too long. I can move the door ahead and move the fender ahead, but then the back fender is still too short and it still won't move. You know, it's so there's this thing going on, but we'll figure it out. There's just no structure in those fenders, and they just move around, and you know, and so you try to squeeze them together, then they do funny things. Could be part of the problem that for, you know, 50 years they were worked on and never put back on the car and stuck in the corner and laid on the floor, stuff laid on top of them, and they kind of spread out. I don't know. But next week we'll get some more done, get a little metal work done, and start doing some Bondo work and move on down the road. And we've already figured out that I'm no expert on this stuff. I'm just trying to figure it out, just like you are when you're at home with your project. So get out there, have a really good week. Do me a favor, share, subscribe, leave me a comment. Even the bad ones, you know. Mike, you're an idiot. Why do you do it this way or that way? I like that kind of stuff. Just have a good week, and we'll see you next week. And maybe we'll have that $1,000 hit. Hats and a dance, right? The hats are on the way. Get a dozen of you or so to have you a Junks Automotive hat, if that's a good thing. Junk out. I need a nap.
Thanks for watching Junks Automotive.